Welcome to the supporting video for elective unit BSBPMG522 Undertake project work. My name is Tony Pan and I'm going to be your trainer and assessor through this unit. Well, what exactly is covered off in this unit? Well, this particular unit is not so much about making you a qualified project manager, but more within the scope of as a manager at diploma level. And you're encompassed with a particular task that has a specific starting point and a specific ending point, and the business or the team or yourself may not have much heritage in terms of how to execute it, about using project management methodology to assist you in achieving that. So it's not necessarily a project management, a complete project management qualification, but it's understanding the discipline, understanding the techniques and the tools within the scope of project management and how we can apply those on a day-to-day basis. So in that sense, there's quite a bit of content within this unit because it does encompass a lot of general, everyday management concepts and ideas. So there is some specific stuff around project management that's unique to project management, and then there's a lot of stuff that's general management stuff. So if we look at the outcomes for this unit, there's 5 particular outcomes: defining a project, developing a project plan, administer and monitor a project, and then finalize a project, and finally review the project. So the idea is that as a manager or someone in a leadership role, your manager or your boss comes to you and says, "I'd like you to execute this." Or you have an idea and you go to your manager and boss say, "I would like to execute this." It's not business as usual. It's a unique enterprise that we're undertaking. We don't have very much heritage, although there's information and resources that I can draw upon to inform what I'm going to do. There's not much heritage, so I'm going to execute this like a project. Your supervisor and your boss will say, "Okay, well, before you get into it, I need to have a little bit more information. Are you able to sort of give me an outline of what's going to be involved?" And this is really, in our everyday language, when they say, "Oh, give us an outline," this is really where in project management land we define it as a project scope. So we go away and we scope out the project. That's where we really dig in a little bit to find out what's going to be involved, what's the final outcomes going to look like, who's going to be involved, how long is it going to take us, how much is it going to cost us, and what are the quality metrics that we're going to embed within this to shape and determine what the final products look like. And that's really defining the project itself, the scope. And then we go back to our manager, who we're going to call a sponsor in the context of project management, and we're going to ask them to sign off on it. We're going to say, "This is, look, I've sort of scoped it out, or I've done an outline. This is what's going to be involved in executing this enterprise. This is how much it's going to cost. This is how long it's going to be. This is what the final product's going to look like." And then hopefully there might be some to-ing and fro-ing, but eventually the sponsor will sign it off. Your boss or your manager will say, "Yep, let's get into it. Let's do it." And then you go away and you develop the plans. And that's the second stage, the second outcome of this unit, where we develop plans. Then we administer those plans. So once we've done those plans, we have to execute those plans. And that's where we make things happen and where we follow things up and review and keep our finger on the pulse and so forth. And that's the administer and monitor project. Now, defining the project, developing a project plan, are very unique project management skills. But when we get into the administer and monitor the project, a lot of that now is starting to fall into the world of general management. So there's a lot of content in there around managing resources, managing people, around monitoring and controlling and reporting and so forth. Hopefully the execution's gone well. Hopefully we've got to the end of our project and pretty close to those metrics that we said we were going to do around time and cost and quality. And we wrap up the project, and this is where we finalize it. We close it up, and then eventually we do a review of it. We'll do a post-implementation review, we'll look at lessons learned, and we'll report on the final outcome. And that's really the landscape that we're going to talk about through these next topic videos that I'm going to put together for you. So there is quite a deal of content in there. The unit of competency itself actually determines that the scope of this unit is quite large.